Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Collar X Malice along Takeru Sasazuka's route. And the collar is off. And Takeru has a whole bunch of information on Adonis thanks to Akito. So let's see how this shakes down. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
We've been waiting for you. Sasazuka, Hoshino.
Good morning, Minagishi.
How are the preparations going? By 9, we'll have all our investigators gathered here. The suspects are likely to resist. We've requested special forces and SDF backup. Now that their hideout is exposed, it's a matter of whether or not they get away, or we apprehend them first.
It's a race against time.
Exactly. The investigation briefing will begin soon. Please get detailed info at HQ beforehand.
I feel like everybody should be in a huge rush. 9 a.m. The investigators leafed through the data that Sasazuka gathered. All of the investigators are obviously surprised as they read through it.
Calm down, everyone. We will now begin the emergency briefing. Police Chief Takeda, if you will, please.
While the investigators all lined up, the police chief glared at the materials.
Sasazuka, give us the details first. Yes.
Sasazuka is called upon, and everyone in the room immediately turned and gave him their attention at once. But he stood up without even showing a hint of being tense as he walked to the whiteboard. Yeah, he doesn't seem the type to get stage fright at all to me.
I'm Takeru Sasazuka, at the Cyber Crimes Division. There's something I want to tell everyone here before I explain the distributed materials.
And that is?
I have no intention of defending criminals, so please don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. I believe that some of the perpetrators of the X-Day incidents are victims themselves. Starting with Manabu Soda, who's already arrested. The murderers from the other months had motives for revenge, but did not have the ability or opportunity. Although they had murderous intent, they continued living their tortured lives without ever exacting their revenge. The Adonis Syndicate took advantage of them by creating a scheme of substitution murders. Being able to kill without dirtying your own hands allowed them to pull the trigger and take vengeance where normally that would not have happened. As a price for that, they were to murder someone they had no connection to. The brakes for their conscience was weakened, and because they'd already gotten their vengeance, they stepped on the gas. They went on moral autopilot and allowed Adonis to steer them, letting them direct them to commit these substitution murders. When I heard it all detailed, it made me realize how horrifying the system was.
Sasazuka looked at the faces of the investigators and sighed slowly.
As I just described, substitution murderers, at first glance, seems like they'd reduce your sense of guilt, since you bear the target no ill will. But as time passes, the full weight of what they've done drags them down into regret. Akito Sera, who provided this data to us, is one of those regretful perpetrators. Akito Sera is that missing boy who's on the wanted list. Yes, he made contact with me and wished for a third party to judge him after he gathered up Adonis' internal information. Bringing each individual to justice is not enough. He felt the entire system needed to be destroyed, or this would be meaningless. Some may doubt the validity of this, but I spoke to him directly, and I want to believe him.
Sasazuka started explaining the data that he had decrypted. I followed along with a copy of the data I had been provided. According to his intel, Adonis has their main hideout near the east exit of Shinjuku. There was an abandoned construction site there that housed the entrance to their hideout.
What is the size of their organization? Unknown, but there should be a significant number of armed members at their headquarters. If you expect danger, shouldn't you assess the situation further before breaching them?
Isn't that your job, not his?
Time is of the essence right now, especially because...
Sasazuka looked around and said this with a fearless smile. Because there's a mole here?
There is most likely someone tied to Adonis amongst the police, or more precisely, someone here.
His direct statement caused murmurs to ripple through the crowd.
There's a mole in Investigations HQ, even though we handpicked each member. Yes, the fact that we've been unable to catch them wouldn't make sense otherwise. Although it was only a partial list, the data included a list of names of accomplices. But it seems they've already fled.
Sasazuka looked at some empty sheets and returned his gaze to the police chief.
That's all I have to say. If we want to crush Adonis, then we have to move now. As we speak, the members of Adonis are plotting their escape.
Just as I thought. Sasazuka returned to his seat, and the shocked gazes turned to Police Chief Takeda. The police chief folded his arms with a frown and thought deeply.
Chief, I know. It's time for me to fulfill my duty. Attention, all hands. We will now conduct a compulsory and comprehensive criminal investigation of the Adonis headquarters. Enemy resistance is expected to be fierce. You're going to be working with each other and field ops for this.
Yes, sir. The investigator saluted and began to leave the room.
All departments cooperate with the traffic division and the local office and blockade the areas.
Minagishi gave out detailed orders, while Sasazuka walked up to the chief, who was wiping his forehead.
Police Chief Takeda, I would like to talk to you once more regarding that promise.
Is now really the time?
The Swords and Firearms Control Law. Yes, I've obtained the information that exposed Adonis' headquarters. Although there may be some slip-ups, this will likely lead to the X-Day incident cases being closed.
The police chief squinted his eyes at Sasazuka's defiant attitude.
Before I answer you, tell me, what moved you to do this? Because I've lived in a society where guns were commonplace, and I know how terrifying it is. I was living in America, and I lost my mother to gun violence. There may be some people who say that I'm just naive. But having a functioning society without citizens carrying guns is part of Japan's pride. I see. Oh, and there's one more thing.
Sasazuka suddenly stopped talking and looked over at me.
I also didn't want to see someone cry.
Police Chief Takeda wouldn't know what he meant, but I jumped at that statement. Oh. The police chief thought about it for a second and then smiled. Oh, what a lovely smile you have, Takeda.
All right.
Oh, there's the smile, never mind.
It's not something I can decide on my own, but it's a promise. I'll find a way to get it done.
Really?
The police have been divided on the repeal of the Swords and Firearms Control Law to begin with. Distributing firearms instead of restricting them as a means to fight crime is an insult to the police force. Without being pressured by the government, we would never have agreed to it. So, can I trust you? Society may see me as weak, but I am still a police officer. I'll uphold justice and work toward fulfilling my promise to you.
I bowed to the chief as he walks away, and I felt genuinely relieved. The collar that held my life hostage was gone. Adonis' hideout had been discovered, and Police Chief Takeda also promised to help repeal the Swords and Firearms Control Law. Things were going so well that I almost thought I was dreaming. Now...
Hey, snap out of it. This isn't finished yet. We still have a lot of analysis to do, including work on the collar. Help me.
Yes, but what should I do first?
Coffee and donuts. Extra sugar and milk.
Still I'm on food duty after all that. Yes. Do I at least get a treat for helping motivate you? 2 days after the assault on Adonis headquarters, the Metropolitan Office dispatched the entire force and arrested many of the Adonis members. But, as the police feared, all of the members they found had their memories erased, just like Manabu Soda. My god, how many chips could they possibly make? The executive-level members had already fled, and they'd wiped the data from the hideout. Damn, they're efficient. Fortunately, they weren't able to completely erase everything. Because of the quick strike against the hideout, some evidence had been left behind. Sasazuka's cybercrimes team and many other investigators have been poring over the data day and night. Amidst that, Akito was taken into custody during the raids, and, like the others, he was found in a state where he'd had his memory erased. Well, at least we got him back. Not only was the memory of Adonis gone, but he barely even remembered Kazuki. Oh, that's sad. This historical string of crimes in Japan seemed to have finally come to a conclusion. However, the police still had far more work left to do. Shinjuku was now moving to lift the quarantine. They're collecting all the distributed firearms. Shinjuku citizens have been told the reason, and the police are assisting those still in fear. A cop's job is never ending, and the people who were involved still suffered scars. Everything isn't back to normal yet. I'll do what I can. What I do will not change from now on. December 21st, 2:36 p.m. Excuse me. This actually feels like it should be epilogue time.
Hey, it's Hoshino. What's up? Aren't you on duty right now?
Yes, I came to pick up some materials because Sasazuka asked me to.
Ah, I see. You've got a lot to do.
Not at all. Sasazuka is much busier than I am. He said that he needs to dig through the data, so he's working without rest. I really wish he would just take a break. Yeah, what's the hurry now? I remember that we had a small argument about that subject this morning, and I made a sour expression after recalling that. I'm really worried about him, but he refuses to listen to me. Well, not that that's any different than usual. I wish he would depend on me a little more. Look at you two. I complain, but Yanagi and Enomoto just look at each other and simultaneously erupt into hysterical laughter. I'm serious, you two. What is this?
Nothing. You sound like your seaweed head's mother or something.
That's not true.
Not like his mom. You sound like his wife.
You too, Yanagi?
Come on, don't be mad. It's thanks to you that Shinjuku has almost returned to normal. I'm embarrassed by how little I was able to do, but I'm thankful.
Yeah, what exactly were you doing this whole time, Yanagi? Yanagi?
All's well that ends well. I hate to admit it's thanks to Seaweed Head, so I'll assume it's thanks to you, Hoshino.
Well, yeah, I was the motivating force behind Seaweed Head. Alright, I'll tell Sasazuka that.
Ugh, please don't. Just keep that under wraps, okay?
I laughed at Enomoto as he grows pale, and Yanagi turned back to me with new resolve.
Hoshino, we're not police officers. We won't be involved in any future investigations. Even so, if you ever need outside assistance, give us a call. We'll do everything we can to help you. Yeah, it only lasted for a short while, but we're friends.
Oh, are you two going to go legit with the detective agency together in this route? I like that idea.
Just come and visit whenever you want. We can go on a date, too.
Huh?
Enomoto, shut your mouth unless you really want Sasazuka to kill you. Got it!
Yeah, really. We talk like we're friends. I can barely even imagine the way we were when we first met. I'm happy that we can laugh like this. It's a bond that was created from the collar. That may sound terrible out of context, but I'm actually glad I met them due to the collar. All's well that ends well, and Enomoto's right about that. I expressed thanks to my wonderful friends and left the office to deliver the materials that Sasazuka had asked for. Back at the office, 22nd at 10:16. Hello, Mochida. I have the materials.
Hi there. So, what did the Organized Crime Division say?
Just as we suspected, there's evidence that guns are being sold on the black market.
I knew it. Alright, let's head to the scene. Just in case, don't forget to carry your firearm.
Understood. Adonis was crushed thanks to the raid the other day, but all departments had lots of cleanup work. SRCPO's task didn't change at all. Mochida and I were placed in charge of collecting the firearms distributed to citizens. We planned for a quick and painless collection process, but There were people reluctant to give up their guns, or the guns were being sold, or probably stolen. Our primary task right now was trying to hunt down all these missing firearms.
Well, until all the firearms are collected, the quarantine won't be lifted.
Oh, you people are keeping us caged in here. Just give them up already.
We'll have to work hard so we can bring Shinjuku back to normal.
Yes. It may be hard work, but we weren't the only busy people. The police and government were working to get the Shinjuku quarantine lifted. Sasazuka seems to be really busy with a lot of analysis work still. Sasazuka, is there anything I can help with?
Nothing. Go do your own work. That's all you need to do.
Just as Sasazuka said, I just have to focus on what I can do. I'm ready. Mochida, let's go. I got myself fired up, and I started running after Mochida. That day, in the afternoon, I returned to the station for my lunch break. As I was walking down the hall, Hoshino!
You are under arrest!
Huh? Hands grabbed my arms from both sides and quickly stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, jeez.
Mukai and Sakuragawa! Hey, have you eaten lunch yet? Oh, not yet. I was thinking of eating at my desk.
Perfect. How about eating with the field ops support team?
I don't mind, but I only bought one bento today, and there's no meat inside. That's fine. It's too bad I don't get a piece of your cooking, but Mukai and I bought our own lunches. Besides, you're the only side dish today.
That sounds kind of creepy. You shouldn't say things like that.
Huh? I didn't know you two were cannibals. I started to back away from these two bloodthirsty birds of prey.
You're not getting away. We got lots we want to ask.
The elated Mukai had hold of my left hand. Sakuragawa, eye squinting, had my right hand. They held me from both sides and started to drag me away. Wait! Because of my line of work, I knew what this is. The textbooks mention this. This is how they transport criminals. I'm getting escorted, or rather hauled away, to a room in field operations. We traded side dishes from our lunches, as we always do, so we had a big family-style lunch setup. It's been a while since those three girls had a nice little chat. Uh-huh? But if we get too noisy, Shiraishi's going to get upset.
The director isn't around. He's taking an extended vacation.
Extended vacation? Really? Now of all times?
Yeah, he's bored now that it's all over. Yes, the incident is solved and I'm tired. Mukai should be able to deal with the rest. And that was the note he left. Gah! He's so annoying when he's around, but he's also annoying when he's not too. That demeaning letter being in a cute cat-themed envelope only made it more infuriating.
That's typical Shiraishi. Mukai poked at the stewed sweet potato of my bento box in a rage. I started eating my salmon roe bowl and noticed Sakuragawa grinning with chopsticks in her mouth. Setting that aside, you should know why you're here. Why? I haven't the slightest clue. We can have meat, but you're still talking. I was going to get you to talk over some drinks, but we haven't had time for that recently. So, how's it going with Sasazuka recently? Out with it.
Nothing recently. There's nothing going on between us.
Yeah, we haven't kissed in a while.
I heard you went to Sasazuka's place.
Huh?
And you stayed the night.
How did you know that? Where'd you hear that?
Oh, so it's true.
Mukai smiled broadly as I realized I'd been trapped. Oh no. She may be polite to me, but she was still a member of the crime lab. And even though she hated to admit it, she was a subordinate of Shiraishi. She's learned well from him. I should have known I need to be more cautious around her. Aw, even I hadn't thought she got that close. No, it's all a misunderstanding. There wasn't anything special about it. Oh, really? A man and woman alone at his place, and he didn't even force himself on you. Why don't you think about it and tell me again how it was nothing special? Well...
You want me to recreate it? I don't mind, but just this once, okay? Whoa, hey! You idiot! You're my partner. That means you're not alone. Why are you worried when I'm with you? Go on, explain yourself, stupid.
A sense of embarrassment climbed from my heart to my cheeks. My hand touched my lips subconsciously, and the two of them pounced on it immediately. Did you see that, Mukai?
Oh, I most certainly did. She has the look of a maiden in love.
Ugh. Come on, Hoshino. Resistance is futile. Cough it up and make it easier on yourself. Sakuragawa tapped me on the shoulder, making me feel like I was under interrogation. Well... My shoulders shook as I gave up trying to resist and opened my mouth. Now you get all the details. Kiss? He kissed you?
Oh, my.
No, but, it was more to comfort me than an actual kiss. Overseas, that's just how they greet each other, I hear. Get out of here! I don't care what Sasazuka thinks about it. I want to know how you felt. You don't have any feelings for Sasazuka? There is a part of me that does, but I just can't go for it yet. After being pointed at and needled, I hesitantly continued.
Hoshino, this might just be me being nosy, but as your senior, let me give you a bit of advice. Even if you're comfortable with your relationship now, it can't go on this way forever.
That's true. You might be okay now, but Investigations HQ will be disbanded soon. Sakuragawa will return to the Metropolitan office, and you won't be able to see him as much. What are you going to do then? You need to prepare for that happening. Well, I personally recommend you getting in bed with him, and then it's checkmate.
How is that checkmate? What sense does that make? Yes, luckily for you, it's almost Christmas. Now is the time to be bold.
Wait, I'm not ready for that yet. Let me tell you a piece of good advice, Hoshino. A woman has to have guts.
Anyway, I wish you luck. You better have some good news for us.
I'll consider it. Before I realized it, we were done eating lunch and we were cleaning up. I parted ways with them as they pumped their fists out of encouragement.
Oh boy.
Oh, I feel sad. We barely seen him since the ending. And now it's 7:48 p.m. Stop working, Sasazuka. Come cuddle me. I managed to finish my work with no issues. I got changed and prepared to go home. I walked over to Investigations HQ with an uncertain gait. I'm not doing this just because Sakuragawa prodded me into doing it. Sasazuka usually just eats cup of ramen, so I'm just going over there to make sure he's eating properly. I reached Investigations HQ and stood outside with my hand over my chest. I steeled myself and opened the door.
What are you doing here?
Huh? Sasazuka? Are you eating all right?
I just came back from lunch. And why are you so worried about it? What are you, my mother?
Mother?
You sound like your seaweed head's mother or something. No, not his mom. You sound like his wife.
It's not like that at all.
Whatever. Are you free on the night of the 24th?
Huh?
Don't give me that. Answer me. Your choices are yes or yes.
I love it when he gives me that choice.
You know that place Minakishi took us out to before. I got a reservation, so let's go there.
Huh? Why go there all of a sudden? You dunce! So we can have our New Year's Eve date together. In style, without the guys from the office.
You already know why. To celebrate. The incidents have calmed down, and you did well too. It's a reward. Now be happy about it.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't invite you if I wasn't. So, are you free or not?
I am. I'd make time even if I wasn't.
You're so greedy when it comes to food.
It's not the food I want. Sasazuka laughed a little and opened the door to Investigations HQ.
The day after tomorrow. Don't forget.
Yes. Sasazuka disappeared into the room, and I tried to steady my rapidly beating heart. The 24th is Christmas Eve. But Sasazuka said it was a celebration. I better not jump to any conclusions. How are you jumping to any conclusions? I mean, yeah, it's a celebration, but you could be celebrating Christmas Eve, but you also could be celebrating the breakthrough, and you could also be celebrating your relationship at the same time. But a part of me is hopeful. What should I do? I can't stay calm. I smiled, forced myself to stifle it, then I smiled again out of reflex. It must have been annoying to look at my face on the way home. Here's the day, but in the morning. And on Christmas Eve. I woke up earlier than usual to prepare breakfast for Kazuki, as well as our lunches. What should I do? Maybe this is too flashy, but I shouldn't be too plain. If I look like I'm too into it, I might end up getting laughed at. Pay attention to your little brother. Say, Kazuki, which one do you think is better?
I can't tell the difference.
Oh.
It's way too early for you to be this loud. Is it a special occasion or something?
I didn't know what to say. I opened my mouth to try and sidestep things, but I ended up just telling the truth. Well, Kazuki, I might come home late tonight. Because I'll be eating dinner out.
Your curfew is 11.
My little brother is giving me a curfew. Huh?
Ichika, you're so full of yourself. Don't go overboard just because it's Christmas Eve. You're not spending the night outside. You better make sure Sasazuka knows that.
Oh, he's getting all protective. He totally has a sister complex. Okay. Apparently he saw right through me.
Oh, and I don't need you to make me dinner.
Why?
I'm meeting out with that idiot Okazaki.
Oh, did he grow on you while I was away?
They're having a party at the office, and he invited me.
Oh, it must be Enomoto's party. The office? Could it be... Kazuki did seem to be getting along with Okazaki, since he begrudgingly accepted his invitation. He's making friends. I laughed a little while watching Kazuki get ready, as I prepared for work too. Some people were cheery because it was Christmas Eve, but our work was busier than usual. We intervened in some drunken fights. Yes, something that must always occur on Christmas Eve. We reprimanded a student that climbed the Christmas tree in front of the station. When we attended to situations like those, it became night quicker than I realized. Don't be late. It was now time for me to meet Sasazuka. Here we go, 7:35 p.m. Thank you for waiting. I changed my clothes and redid my makeup and lost track of time. I arrived at the restaurant we had arranged to meet at 5 minutes late. He's gonna yell at me. Sasazuka was there, obviously not pleased that he had to wait for me.
You're late. You should be 5 minutes early.
Sorry.
Jeez, what were you wasting your time on?
He looked at me and squinted before quickly whirling around.
Whatever, let's go.
Sure. I gotten a bit more dressed up than I usually would be, but it didn't seem to have any effect on him. I wouldn't say that. The way he whirled around, he was probably covering up a blush. It's just a celebration after all. I shouldn't expect too much. I followed after Sasazuka, who was just being his usual self, and heaved a little sigh. I heard a shishiodoshi in the distance in this immaculately clean room. I thought this when I came here last time, but now I'm certain that I really didn't belong here. However, since this was my second time here, I was at least slightly less uncomfortable. It's delicious. Take a look at this soup bowl with milk in it. Did you try it? It's so plump looking.
I saw. I ate it.
This is red snapper sashimi and Japanese lobster. It almost feels like a waste to eat it.
Then want me to eat it for you? Then want me to eat it for you?
No, I'll eat it. I enjoyed the kaiseki banquet as Sasazuka just smiled and watched over me. Hey, you better be eating too.
Enjoy yourself. It's a reward after all.
Don't mind if I do. The last time I was here, I wasn't able to enjoy the meal because of the situation.
Now that I think about it, it's only been 10 days since I came here with Minagishi.
If you want to look at it that way, we only met about 2 weeks ago. Wow, a lot of things have happened in 2 weeks. After that, Sasazuka and I became partners, and we started pursuing the X-Day incidents. And now we're having dinner together on Christmas Eve. If I told my past self this would happen, I'd definitely think future me was insane. When I first met Sasazuka, if I was being perfectly honest, he was the scariest of all the people at the detective office. He was the first one that made me stare down reality when I was bound by the poisonous collar. Since he was a complete pragmatist, at first he only saw me as a clue. But that was why I was so happy when Sasazuka finally changed his view about me and acknowledged me as his partner. And, of everything that was said to me during the investigation, it was his words of comfort that stuck to my heart stronger than anything else did. And because it was Sasazuka,
What are you smiling about? Was the sashimi that good?
It's true that it's good, but I was just thinking back on everything that's happened. Yes, the kiss was better. There's still a lot of cleanup to do, but I'm just glad that it's mostly over.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna miss me too. We're gonna have to move in together. Sasazuka looked out the window, and a shadow fell over his face. He didn't seem to feel that the incidents were over, and he didn't mirror my feelings. Sasazuka, do you regret it? Turning down Adonis' recruitment, that is.
A little. But for the bigger picture, I cast them aside. And you and I are here right now. That's all there is to it.
Yes. The next dish that was brought over to the table was a stewed fugu fish. This was something I usually didn't get to eat, but something was on my mind. I had my collar taken off, and Sasazuka helped me with so much more. But what about me? What have I done? Have I helped Sasazuka at all? I suddenly regretted eating this reward meal that was supposedly for me.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I think this inescapable feeling was what's holding me back. It's why I couldn't take another step forward. We need to talk about feelings. And here I'm going to have to put a manual break in the video because I recorded the whole rest of the route and because I thought maybe it could fit in one video, but it's a little bit too long to really make one video. So I'm going to have to break it here. Sorry for the impromptu insert. But I hope to see you in the next video or some of my other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.